Welcome back to the CS Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Shanafel, and I am now joined by 2014 NFL Draft prospect, wide receiver out of Vanderbilt, Jonathan Krause. Thanks for joining the show, John. How's it going, man?
Going pretty good. Can't complain.
Hey, man, it's a pleasure to have you on the show, and I'm actually going to start this interview off with a pretty simple question, and that is, being from Georgia, why did you decide that Vanderbilt University would be the best fit for you?
Honestly, just going throughout my, unofficial visits, just visiting schools and everything with my parents, Vanderbilt is just one of those schools that, stuck out to me. Mm-hmm. I mean, Bama, Georgia, Ole Miss, they all have the great locker rooms, the great stadiums and everything, and, but I don't know, there's just something about Vanderbilt that just pretty much stood out to me.
And Jonathan, you were one of the team's two true freshman wide receivers in 2010. You were able to have a lot of time on the football field and recorded 24 receptions for over 240 yards. And you also ran the ball on end rounds, I believe 6 times, which allowed you to record 2 touchdowns that season. How were you able to have so much success so early on in your college football career?
Honestly, my freshman year, it was pretty much just pure talent. I was just going off my talent from high school. So I guess that's what got me through my freshman year, honestly.
Any chance you could tell us about that very first college football touchdown that you scored? I know it was a while ago, man, but what was that like?
It was a great feeling, honestly. It's probably one of the greatest feelings ever. But, just had to keep it going, so.
Now let's fast forward to the 2012 season. You played in all 13 games at wide receiver, and you only had 9 catches for 69 yards that season, but you were a great kick and punt returner, and you actually returned 2 punt returns for touchdowns. With that being said, what would you say is the biggest difference between a kick return and a punt return? Is one harder to bring back to the house than the other?
Just basically how everything is set up. Kickoff return and punt return, obviously, is, 2 different types of kicks. A punt is harder to judge than a kickoff, so I guess that's really the only difference besides the schemes and everything. That's pretty much the only difference between the two.
Now, I'm a big Madden player, and I find it way easier to return kick returns for touchdowns than punt returns, so... it's kind of crazy that you had 2 punt returns, and you haven't had a kick return during your time at Vanderbilt, did you?
Actually, I haven't did kick returns since senior high school, so, oh, wow. That's something, kick return is something, I'm hoping to do in the NFL, and even punt returns, I like returning, so I guess that, just adds a little bit more.
Well, looking back at your entire career at Vanderbilt, you're a very versatile player. And, kind of one last question about that 2012 season, and that is, I mentioned that you had 9 catches for over 60 yards. Were you upset that, being a wide receiver, were you upset that you only had 9 receptions that year?
Any, athlete or a wide receiver in that case, will be angry with, the performance of that. But, next year, the year after, I just had to, learn from that experience and, come to work, actually.
Yes, sir. And what were your expectations for this past season, your final college football season that just ended, Jonathan?
Obviously, last year, you got to go out with a bang. Obviously, expectations were high, and, based off of what I did this year, I can say, I'm happy with what I did this year. Got to show a lot of people what I've been doing this off season, and, just training and actually working hard and putting in the extra time and the work on the jugs, feet work, tennis balls, whatever it is that could get myself better. I did, and I guess, I feel as if that's what my senior season, proved, my hard work and extra time that I put in the summer showed in my senior season.
Absolutely. You had a career year as you put up 42 receptions for over 710 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. Being a versatile player that you are, in the past you scored while running the ball, returning the ball, but as a wide receiver, what's it like to get that first touchdown reception as a Commodore?
I'd say actually catching the ball for touchdowns feels a lot better than running the ball in. Running the ball is, a little bit easier, but definitely catching the ball for touchdowns feels a lot better.
All right, what would you say has been the biggest or most memorable play that you've made throughout your college football career, man?
I have two, actually. I would say the catch against Georgia this year and the punt return that I had against Wake Forest my junior year.
Well, you certainly can't go wrong with those two plays, I'll tell you that. Now, being a wide receiver, you line up on the other side of a very talented wide receiver in Jordan Matthews. Do you feel that you have complemented each other pretty well during your time there?
Repeat your question?
Do you feel that you both, Jordan Matthews and yourself, do you feel that you guys, complemented each other very well this past season?
Yeah, I mean, me and Jordan are actually really good friends. I pretty much talk to him about almost every single day, if not every single day, then every other day. But yeah, I mean, shoot, me and Jordan have been great friends since day one, since we met each other. So I mean, if they were, this year, if they was triple covering Jordan, then that left me open to get opportunities. If they wasn't, if it was, straight out, zone and there wasn't no man or anything, no bracket coverages or anything, then I mean, we both were still able, to get out and basically, do what we do as, wide receivers.
So either way, the opposing team was going to be in big trouble. That's what you pretty much just said right there, Jonathan. And
yeah, pretty much. I mean, that was our mindset of, going into each game. We made sure we prepared for the worst. So whatever defense they threw at us, we made sure that we did enough film work and, just basically preparation in order, to encounter that problem or whatever they threw at us.
And you both had a very successful season this past year. And final question about your time at Vanderbilt, and that is, what type of head coach was James Franklin like, and how do you feel about him taking the job at Penn State?
James Franklin, he was actually a great coach here, honestly. He's the one who got me better, along with my position coach, Josh Gaddis. Pretty much all the coaches that I've been throughout, my whole career here at Vandy have gotten me better. I picked up something from all of them, it's different coaching types. So me being able to go through all those coaches, is, I guess it's a plus for me to be able to pick up all those different coaching types. And for Coach Franklin to go to Penn State, I mean, that's between us. I'm not, mad about his decision. I'm happy for him and everything that he does. So, that's pretty much my take on everything.
Hey, man, he said it's his dream job, so like you said, good for him. This is Chris Schanfeld talking with 2014 NFL Draft Prospect wide receiver out of Vanderbilt, Jonathan Krause. And John, I know you were able to play in the Medal of Honor Bowl about a month ago in South Carolina. Can you tell us about that experience and what it was like to go head-to-head with some of the best talent in the country?
Honestly, that was a really, really good experience. First time, actually, when I got there, it was the first time I ever caught an NFL ball. But overall, the whole experience, they took care of us. Great amount of scouts out there. I feel as if going to that bowl game really benefited me and everything. So it was just overall experience. It was a great experience, I can say.
You mentioned the scouts. I know there are over 100 scouts out there. Were you able to talk to any of them? And if so, what are they saying about you?
Talked to, I'd say a good amount of scouts. So pretty much what I took from them was just pretty much what I can do to get better as an athlete. And yeah, that's pretty much how everything went. the scouting process. It was there trying to get to know you and everything. So that's pretty much the whole process that went on there.
All right, John, let's talk a little bit about your future, and I'll start off with, when was it when you began to think that playing in the NFL may not only be a dream, but it could become a reality?
I don't know. I started playing football in the 4th grade, I believe, and ever since then, it's just like football just always been on my mind. I would say track was probably my first love or whatever. And if Danny had a men's track team, I'll definitely be on it right now. But football, I grew up a Miami Hurricanes fan. Grew up down in Pompano Beach, Florida, and everything. And moved to Vanderbilt, Georgia later on in my high school career. And just the NFL was always my goal. And now that it's become reality, it's I think it'll be a blessing and it'll be an honor to be able to play in the NFL.
All right, now this is a tough question to answer, but if you would compare yourself to a wide receiver currently playing in the NFL today, who do you think that would be and why?
Well, before every game, I always watch Victor Krause, Deshaun Jackson, and Steve Smith. I always watch those three before every game. So I guess that's what I like to compare myself to.
And would that be because they're the smaller, faster type wide receivers?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I watch Crabtree. I watch him a lot. Me and Jordan watch him a lot, and I try to pick up a lot of things from him. And I watch Megatron a lot also, and just try to pick up things I can add to my repertoire and everything. And I pretty much try to pick up everything from any wide receiver. Just try to add it to what I can do. But yeah, pretty much because they're a lot quicker, shifty receivers and everything, and that's pretty much where I am also. So it kind of plays off each other.
Michael Crabtree, I mean, well, according to Richard Sherman, that's a mediocre wide receiver, man.
Not a mediocre wide receiver at all. He's a very, very, very solid wide receiver.
Yeah, that's very true.
Watching
very true.
film on him and everything, so I'm gonna let that stay between them two.
No, I'm just messing with you, man. Just a couple more questions for you, Jonathan, then I'll let you go. I really do appreciate your time, man. Let's say there's an NFL general manager out there listening to this very interview. Why should he want wide receiver Jonathan Krause on his team?
Pretty much. I'm a hard worker. I love to compete, and I love to work hard. So that's basically me. Hard work and love to compete.
All right, final question for you, man. Can you just give us an update on how training's going? What are you up to nowadays?
Pretty much training out here in Nashville. Train at D1 facility out in Cool Springs. And so far it's going pretty good. So just waiting for Pro Day around March 21st here at Vanderbilt. So it should be a good little day for all of us coming out this year. And that's pretty much it.
All right, Jonathan, man.
I'm taking 9 hours in school right now, so it's basically training in school.
Hey, Jonathan, I really appreciate your time, man. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. Now, before I let you go, is there anything you'd like to say to myself and our listeners?
I just want to thank you, for reaching out to me in order to, give me this interview and everything.
Hey, thank you, Jonathan. Like I said, it's been my pleasure. I hope we keep in touch, and best of luck down the road, and take care, all right, man?
You too.